Welcome to Behavioral Finance and FinTech. I'm Andy Kim, your Dr. Finance, and this part of the lecture, we're going to talk about how much we are ready or not for the AI in finance or FinTech as a whole. We're going to talk about two things. One is Shin Bank's case. It's a Korean banking corporation. There we're going to talk about the pitfalls that we typically face. The second one is about JP Morgan. We're going to talk about what's the current situation and what's the biggest stumbling block for the existing banks, and what's the situation when we talk about they have to level the playing field, right? So let's go. So here's the case of SH Group, financial group of Korea, which is Shin Bank, right? And then in 2019, they proudly announced like this. We established an AI team and spun it off as a subsidiary as a way to pioneer fintech. It's like AlphaGo of finance. Already we are developing into version 2.0. Wow. Okay, with the launch of Shin AI in 2019, Shin Financial Group became the first financial holding company in Korea to introduce a company with specialized artificial intelligence capabilities. We seek to expand its business through a variety of AI-powered investment consulting services, like this. And then they said, our AI found out that the inflation rate of Zimbabwe has significant predictive power about S&P 500 index return. We don't know why, but that's what AI is about. You get unexpected predictor from nowhere. It's completely out of the conventional economic theory or human knowledge. Machine. Typical response of financial majors were like, wow, sexy. So I must learn AI like this. Okay. Well, here's my saying. There are so many snake oil salesmen. We have to watch out. And this is one interesting case. Shin AI. The CEO, you see his face, right? He was proudly presenting that they got new AlphaGo of finance that found out wonderful correlation between Zimbabwe's inflation rate and the S&P 500 returns, right? Zimbabwe inflation rate. How come? It turned out to be having some predictive power about S&P 500 index return. So basically here is what happened, right? You should draw the timeline like this, 2008 and 9, right? Zimbabwe's inflation rate usually was like very low, right? 10% or something coming and going. But they abruptly suffered from hyperinflation, infinite, right? Billion% of inflation rate. Okay? That's this guy. And then in 2009, they switched into US dollar. We call it dollarization because they gave up their monetary policy, right? So the inflation rate must have been near zero. Then S&P 500, the US stock market, what happened? Well, usually their returns were like coming and going. In 2008, it was year of financial crisis, negative 37%, and coming and going, and like this. And then in 2009, it was like 26% or something, right? Plus big number, right? 26%. And then move down to like this. Okay? So if you try to do a scatter plot between S&P 500 on the year T minus T plus 1, right? S&P 500 in T plus 1, and here Zimbabwe's inflation rate in T. Okay? T and T plus 1. What must have happened? Well, usually they were scattered around here, like basically no relation, because economically you cannot predict US market, Zimbabwe's small economy in the world, right? It is important, of course, as a country, but realistically, global economy wise, right? This guy's impact on US market, come on. Like this. Basically no relation, but in 2008, what happened? 2008 of Zimbabwe's inflation rate, well, infinity over here, and then plus 26% or so. The index return like this. Now, based on these dots, if you run a regression, okay? If you run a regression, what would you find? Well, the least squares line, regression line, will go through this outlier, something called outlier like this. And you will find the significant positive correlation between these two variables. Data mining. This is flawed regression that you should throw out. What should you do? The basic statistics 101 says that you have to take out this outlier. Okay? Do you think that the AI team of Shin Bank did not know about this? This is a serious problem. Computer science guys, right? They advertised that they're proud that the AI team of Shin Bank is structured like, at the center, the top guys are computer science majors, PhD in computer science. Whoa, gurus. And then around them, they are surrounded by subordinates who majored in economics and business or finance, I guess. Okay? Like you guys, maybe. Okay? So they were subordinates supporting them. Now, these computer programmers found out this pattern. What should you do if you were one of these economists or business finance majors? Once you find out this kind of result, you should say what? No, hell no, take out that variable. This is economic. There's no economic theory that justifies this kind of relations, and it's not going to happen again. All right? It's just pure, we call it spurious correlation, pure coincidence. 까마귀 날자 배 떨어졌다 in Korean terminology, right? So you should be able to say this. Okay? You should have the courage, and then they need to have that culture. This is my point. I want to say it, right? And my friend also visited this company to look at what's happening in this organization. But they found a lack of communication among these guys. That's a serious problem. Lack of communication. Okay? AI, good luck. If you don't have communication skills, right? No way. You will end up with nowhere. And then your bosses will make mistake like this. Zimbabwe's inflation rate has turned out to be highly correlated with US stock market. So let's look at Zimbabwe's inflation rate for the future. No. Your boss's mistake will be captured in the screen, and then it will be kept forever. To prevent that kind of mistake, you should take the courage to say no, right? But do you have that courage? And then I don't want to blame you only, because the culture itself is a problem in the organizational culture. The culture should be accommodating all kinds of opinions. That's my message over here. Looking at the case of AI team in Shin Bank, right? They say we are trying to develop another AI that explain why Zimbabwe's inflation is important. Kind of interpreter machine. So give me some more money to invest. What? Do you really need money for that? Or do you have some other agenda among you guys? I highly suspect. Okay? It's not just me. It's a well-known case among those, guys in this industry. My message: haste makes waste. to judge whether a pattern you found in big data would repeat in the future. You need rock solid understanding of data generating process. We call it DGP, data generating process, i.e. you need guiding theory that explain the fundamental relation among the variables you are interested in. Okay? Oh, I know that the AI or machine learning is about freeing up your mind from those governing theory, and let's see what is really turns out to be correlated. But this is extreme, okay, outrageous. This kind of findings, if you find it in your job, you should be able to say no. Okay, only after having people with solid theoretical understanding. For example, theoretical understanding in macroeconomics, microeconomics, finance and business and psychology, right? Those guiding theory. Do you have that guiding theory behind it? So that your data, the pattern that you found, can be justified by that guiding theory is a critical issue. Okay, machine learning starts to be effective in that specific application. Okay, and then last month, one of my friend, I told you about this. And then the lack of communication is a problem. FinTech is about banking, which is the relation between human and money. Essentially, this should be explained by either of the two. FinTech, either economics or psychology. Okay. What you found out in your data, big data, you found out some patterns. Is it supported by economics or is it supported by psychology? Then you have a go. But if you don't, okay, if the pattern is not supported by neither of these, then drop it, throw it away. You should take the courage to throw away. Okay, that's the key message here. And then only if they could say no is a key point here too. The culture of allowing anyone, your subordinates too, to you saying no. 머리에 피도 마르지 않은 것이. It's like how dare you say no to me? The kind of things, right? That's age discrimination. Okay, 연령 차별. So discrimination is bad. And you have to keep an open mind yourself, okay? Open mind, it is easy to try to be, pretend to be open-minded for, people from different colors, different genders, or different groups. But in Korea, it is extremely difficult for you to be open-minded to your juniors because this is age-discriminated society. By the time you were born, right? Even the twins, right? They were born a couple of minutes difference than the strict difference between the older one versus younger one. Last forever. We should abolish that, okay? Within our organization as well. It is very difficult for me to challenge my senior as a professor. You think, oh, how could that happen? You are professor groups, right? You should be special, and then you should be, you should be open-minded to any one of you. We try, but it's Korea. So the older guys, elder guys, senior guys saying something, you have to follow it. Yes, amen. Oh, amen. Yes. But we are changing. We are trying to change it, right? It's difficult, but we are on the way. So that's what I'm trying to say. And in this class as well, I encourage you to disagree with me, challenge me. It's okay. The more challenge you throw me, okay? Let's say email and then say, Professor, that doesn't sound right. If you send this kind of messages, I will add one more point to your participation grade. Of course, as long as you have some good supporting argument behind you, okay? But at least try something like that, okay? I'm not gonna be pissed off, right? I try myself to the best of my ability, I promise. So That's something we have to encourage ourselves before we jump into the AI world, okay?